Do you want to know if you may be an Enneagram 2? Have you taken the Enneagram test but are still unsure? Or do you know an Enneagram 2, maybe a family member, friend, or client, and want to understand them better? Well, stay tuned because I'm about to reveal what it's like to be a Type 2. And make sure you watch till the end because I'm going to be sharing one characteristic that just may surprise you about 2s. Hi, I'm Tyler Zock, pastor, Enneagram coach, author of the 40-Day Gospel for Enneagram Devotional series, and your personal guide to helping you transform your life, relationships, and workplace by giving you spot-on truths for your type. Keep watching if you want to feel seen, understood, and challenged to let go of the things that are keeping you stuck in your personal and professional life. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss more free content coming up next week. All right, let's get to it. Type 2s are called the helpers or befrienders. They fear being worthless. They fear being needy. They fear being dispensable or unworthy of being wanted or loved. Right? Their desire is to be loved and wanted by others. And so oftentimes their focus or the fixation is the needs of others. They're always thinking about what other people are feeling and what other people need. That tends to be where their mind goes. Their idol is being indispensable, right? They can have this need to be needed by other people in their lives. So they tend to avoid their own needs and own desires. Oftentimes, if you ask a 2, what do you need? They won't be able to tell you. It's hard because they're always thinking about what other people need and what other people are desiring. Their vice is pride, which can be a little crazy at first because 2s are one of the most selfless types that we know, always helping people. And so what do we mean by pride? Well, pride is the inability or unwillingness to acknowledge their own needs and ask for help. Sometimes 2s can be too prideful to ask for help. Another way that pride manifests is when they confidently insert their help or their advice in other people's lives when they weren't asking for it in the first place. So sometimes 2s can overstep boundaries and inserting their advice or doing things for others that the other people didn't need. And so that's one of the ways pride can manifest. So the virtue is humility. The humility to ask for help when you need it, to risk looking needy at times, and be humble in respecting boundaries and asking people if you can give your advice to them or help them in the ways that you want to help them. 2s believe it is more blessed to give than to receive. And all 2s said, amen. 2s tend to be generous to a fault. They are uber generous towards the people they love. 2s are always thinking about their relationships. And so if you smile funny at a 2 in the morning, maybe your boss looks at you funny, they're going to be thinking about that the rest of the day because they don't want people to be mad at them. They're always thinking about where they're at in terms of their relationships with other people. Are they good or are they not good? 2s care a lot about whether people like them or not. They really want the affirmation of others and do not want to be rejected. 2s think they know what other people need before they do. And so sometimes this is good because they can offer their help quickly and be a blessing to people. But if they think they know what other people need, but they really don't need it, then again, that can be a little bit intrusive to other people. 2s are affectionate people. I love this about 2s. They can be the most affectionate personality type on the Enneagram. 2s love when people count on their support. Again, when they have a need to be needed. 2s get angry if their help and their care is not reciprocated. Right? If you took over that soup to them when they were sick, if you came over and visited them when they were having a bad day, but that's not reciprocated to you when you're in need, that can make a 2 pretty angry. 2s also have a hard time asking for help. Again, they want to be the ones that help other people, but they don't want to look needy or give off this image that they have a bunch of needs. Right? They want to look like the indispensable one. 2s want to be acknowledged for their contributions. Right? They love when people say, hey, thank you so much for doing this. Like those words of affirmation and acknowledgement mean the world to 2s. 2s feel like their loved ones should already know what they need without them asking. Right? It goes back to, again, they have a hard time asking for help. They feel like their loved ones should just know when they need help or know when they're having a bad day and come over and rescue them. Twos often feel like people take them for granted. Right? Twos give and they're generous and they're helpful and they're offering advice. And oftentimes it feels like they don't get enough thank yous back, or they don't get the raise at work, or they keep people keep asking the two for more and more things, and they don't seem to get enough compensation in return. So they can feel taken for granted. Another thing about twos is that although they can sense what other people need, they struggle to know what they need. Again, they're always others focused, focusing on how other people are feeling, what other people need. And if you ask a two, what do you need? They struggle to know what that is. And so twos need to do the inner work of figuring out, okay, what are my desires? What are my needs? How can I take care of myself and show myself self-care? Twos give gifts and encouragement to get love. Right? Twos can fall into this giving to get mentality, and it's oftentimes unconscious, where they're giving encouragement with the hopes that somebody else would give them their friendship, or somebody would give them a word of affirmation later on down the road. Like I said, twos think a lot about whether someone is mad at them or not. It really bothers them if they think that somebody might be thinking poorly or negatively about them. They just want to make other people happy and for other people to be happy with them. Twos love playing the role of best friend, and oftentimes the twos in our lives are the best friends because they're so good at it. They play that role so exceedingly well. Twos can typically win anyone over with their charm and kindness. Right? They have the woo. They're able to win others over because they're so charming and they're so kind and so helpful. Twos have an advanced radar that picks up on the feelings of others in the room. So oftentimes if people are having a bad day, they're the first to sense it. If a marriage or a couple is going through conflict, oftentimes they can sense it. They just have this amazing radar for picking up on things that other people don't pick up on. And that allows them to be a nurturer and to be a supporter of those people who are going through hard situations. Twos often feel drawn to get validation from influential people. This is pretty big to realize. They want that validation from influential people, particularly authority figures. And so twos need to realize that they don't need the validation of others. They don't need to strive to do all of these things to get this validation or recognition from the authority figures, because they can realize that they have self-worth apart from other people. Twos love helping people by giving advice. Okay, this is another key distinguisher between like type 9s and type 2s, is that 9s typically will be more reserved and laid back, but 2s want to give people their advice. They feel like they can help people by giving them the advice that they have. And so if you love giving people advice, you may be a 2. 2s are always ready to share their life story with someone, whether it's at a park bench or on an airplane, or at church, after church when everybody's leaving. They just love to meet strangers and are always ready to share their life story with somebody. Twos love exercising the gift of hospitality. Typically they have this spiritual gift of just inviting people in, of being hospitable, of providing not just tangible things like food or water, but just an open heart that's willing to listen to your life story and to care for you and come alongside you. Twos can sometimes struggle with codependency, and so it could be a relational codependency, like in a relationship setting where you are overly depending on your boyfriend or girlfriend or spouse or parent. But it could also be you making other people dependent on you, right? Sometimes twos tend to gravitate towards people who are needy or who are in need of rescuing. And so you can actually go and start helping people and make them dependent on you. Sometimes twos will look back at their story and say, man, I've rescued way too many people. I've rescued people way too many times. And I need to let people fail sometimes and let them fall on their face so they can learn how to get back up on their own and learn how to be independent rather than just depending on me. Twos, when people ask them for help, they have a hard time saying no. If you have a hard time saying no every time somebody asks you something, to do something, then you may be a 2. And twos say that there are no strangers in the world, only friends they haven't met yet. Right? Again, they are uber relational, great befrienders, especially to strangers. All right, now there's one characteristic that I said may surprise you about twos. Twos can actually be the angriest type on the Enneagram when they're upset. Right? Specifically, if they feel uncared for, unsupported, taken for granted, or, watch this, you don't care about their loved one, their kids, or their group of people that they love dearly. If you make that group or that person they love invisible, or you don't make an effort to care for them and love for them, particularly their kids, they can be the mama bear. Right? I call this hulking out. And sometimes they hulk out for good reasons. But the reason I mention this is because it's often really surprising when this happens, because the sweet, hospitable, kind two can get supercharged and go from 0 to 60 in a few seconds and let their anger out. And actually can be sort of intimidating when they are angry. And oftentimes, like I said, it could be for good reasons as well. But it is surprising. Twos, my advice to you would be to be more selfish. I know it sounds selfish to say that, but you need to be more selfish in the best way possible, right? You're always thinking about other people, but you need to learn how to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you can start caring for other people. People don't just need your help, but they need a healthier version of you. And so to have healthy emotions and to be a healthy person means to do self-care. It means to have hobbies for yourself, to go do things that you love, right? And to be more selfish with your time so that you can give people the best version of yourself. All right, so let me ask you, did this video help you to know if you're a type 2? If so, leave a comment below. I'd love to chat. And if you want to learn more, I have good news. I have a book coming out. It's called The Gospel for Helpers. It's a 40-day devotional just for type 2s, and it comes out this November 2022. So if you're watching, it may already be out. So go check that out on Amazon. And if you love the content today, make sure to hit the like button so you can tell YouTube to share this with more people. And once again, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I want to help you reach your God-given potential and avoid burnout, breakups, and blowups that are all too common for your type. So whether you're a seasoned Enneagram coach or just new to the Enneagram, you are bound to experience many aha moments right here on this channel. Now, don't leave because I have more valuable content coming right up.